Zalatoris is healthy. I think he's going to win a few times this year, and I still think he has a really good chance to win a major this year.
Oh, I don't know. I disagree with you. I'm glad you said that, because I know that he had to have his, a bulging disc is a pretty big deal when you're a golfer and you travel. And, we've already know that his short putts are always, that's really hard to win. I mean, he did make some great putts when he did win in the playoff, but his putting didn't look any better to me yesterday. And I thought he looked very tentative with his back. But of course, when you have at his age, I don't think he's going to have the power that he had before. Wow. So whether his short game is going to be able to step up is still a question.
You want to take Zalatoris off my hands, Greg?
Oh, he's already changed his mind.
I will take Billy Horschel. I don't like the guy, but I think he makes. Well, he just seems like an asshole.
Oh. It's that time again. Golf on Prime Sports Network. And that means we welcome back, first of all, she is a Hall of Fame golfer. It's 2 years running now, Jan?
Yes.
Yes. So already you're a veteran Hall of Famer. The honeymoon is over. You're now a vet.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And of course, Jared Smola joining us from Draft Sharks. And Jared, how's everything?
Oh, it's awesome, Greg. So excited to be back in golf season, talking golf with you and Jan.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And this year is going to be different for a variety of good reasons, because we're going to talk a lot of fantasy, and we're going to have our own fantasy league here on the show. And this is what this first show is about. We're going to be drafting our own fantasy team for the upcoming season, which means, and we'll go over the instructions and all that. But Jared has also introduced Jan and I to an actual, what would you call it? Just a money league, a money fantasy league?
Yeah.
Well, it's called a one and done contest, one and done league. And as the name would suggest, you pick one golfer for every tournament. You get his prize money that he wins or doesn't win. If he misses the cut, you get $0. But then the tricky part is you can only use a golfer once per season. So if I were to use Jon Rahm this week, I cannot use him in any other tournaments the rest of the way. So you kind of got to plot out, where you want to use each of these guys.
By the way, how do WDs work? Like if they WD before the tournament begins, do you still get a chance to go in there and change it?
Yes, your pick doesn't lock until the first player tees off.
Okay, so once the first player tees off, even if you're teed off in the afternoon, you're screwed then. You get a 0.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we're going to be talking a lot about that. We'll be following our teams throughout the season, but we have our own league, and that's something that we're going to spend a lot more time on as well. And then, of course, once Sony starts with our first show next week, we will have our regular picks, our handicapping picks. We've changed things up a little bit with that as well, right, Jared? What have we done with that one? We're basically having $100 pot, and then you could just spend it any way you want with like 4 picks or something like that.
Yeah, just giving us more flexibility, which is how I kind of make my actual bets. So I think it'll be more useful to the viewers.
Yeah. So we'll explain more of that on next week's show. Again, that's the Sony Open next week. That's our first and we'll be producing those shows on Tuesdays, early on Tuesdays from now on, mostly, as long as schedule remains the same. Everything could change, but for the most part, our regular schedule for those shows should be every Tuesday, late morning, early afternoon. This way, it'll be posted that early on Tuesday. Last year, we were doing it Tuesday nights. Sometimes people have basically one day to check out our show, and it's just not enough time. But this way, we've kind of upped it about a good 12 hours. So hopefully that'll make things a lot easier for everybody to watch our shows, digest the information, and use it for themselves every week. All right. So before we get started, let's go through the rules and our new fantasy league. And each one of our teams are going to consist of 12 starting players per week and 3 alternates. So that means we're going to be picking 15 players. And then we're going to have 5 full-time Live Tour players as well. We select one player from the groups that are coming up, and there's going to be one from our first 9 groups. And what happens is once we've selected players from those groups, the remaining players in each group move down to the next group, and so forth and so on. And then we get all the way down to Group 10. There are going to be 16 players available in that group, 6 new players, and 10 left over from the first 9 that we select from. And then we're going to take 3 players each from Group 10 by using the same formula. Basically, it's a snake formula. Jan's going to have the first pick, then Jared, and then I go to start the process. The final 3 players we're going to select are going to come from the rest of the PGA Tour field. So once we get down to those last 3 players, doesn't matter whose names are available. If there's not a name on the list, we can use whoever player we want on the PGA Tour. So that opens up things considerably for those last 3 players. And the Live Tour players, the key there is as far as how much we're going to make each week and how we put our points together, a little bit different. We're going to have regular, hey, if you're finishing the top 30, top 50, if as long as you make the cut, you can have a certain amount of points on the PGA Tour. But on the Live Tour, we're just keeping it to whoever finishes in the top 3. We're not going to get too crazy on the Live Tour. Hopefully the Live Tour will get to a point where we'll have a little bit more action there. But I just wanted to take it easy because I don't know. You tell me, Jared, what are you thinking about the Live Tour this year? Any major changes that you've heard yet about last year to this year, especially coverage-wise?
No, as far as I know, they're still looking for some network to cover it, right? It's only on YouTube at this point, so I'm surprised no one's picked it up.
Wow.
There's been a lot of pressure from the PGA not to take him.
Blackballing. That's not right.
Nope.
That's not right. I mean, the PGA Tour should feel confident enough about their own 200-year, 150-year, 100-year business model.
Yeah.
That they don't have to be bullies. I mean, come on.
They are definitely being the big bully.
All right. Well, we still love the bullies. So let's get started with Group 1. And Group 1, Jan's got the first pick. 5 players in Group 1. I'll name those players. Patrick Cantlay, and I'm going to be doing it in alphabetical order. Patrick Cantlay, Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm, Scotty Scheffler, and Justin Thomas. Jan, who do you want?
Okay, I'm stuck between Rory and John, but seeing I've got the first pick, I'm going to have to go with Rory. Rory's really, he's spent the whole winter down in South Florida working out and working on his game. And as much as I think Jon Rahm's going to really come good this year, he doesn't have the work ethic that Rory does to do the whole concentration thing.
Okay, well, there you go. Rory McIlroy, first pick. Jared?
Well, Jan, I'm glad you took Rory. I think he probably deserves to be the first pick, but I'm more of a Rahm fan. I still think he's right there with Rory. I think they're the 2 best players in the world. I don't think Rahm has any weakness to his game. I think he's underachieved as far as winning goes in his career so far. But I think he has the upside to win, 4 or 5 times in a season, including a major or 2. So I'm happy to take Jon Rahm at this pick.
I agree.
And by the way,
it was between those 2 for me. All
at
right.
At the end of the show, also want to let everybody know that we're going to have some. We're going to predict about 5 or 6 questions, things like Player of the Year, Breakthrough Player of the Year, who's going to win their first major, things like that. So that's coming up at the end of our selecting our players on our fantasy game. I only bring that up because these are the guys that'll be in the running most likely for Player of the Year for everybody. All right, so for me, it's down to Scheffler and Justin Thomas, even though Cantlay's still on the board. But I'm going to go ahead and take Justin Thomas. I think after last year, you could just know that it was just really irking him that he just wasn't on top of his game. And I suspect that he's going to up his game even more this year and try to get back to where he was a couple of years ago. So I'll take JT as my top choice.
Well, JT just got married, so about 3 weeks ago. So now they're over with the wedding and all that stuff. So I bet he is. I agree with you. I mean, they've been going together for a while, so it's good. I think now he'll knuckle down.
Yeah, I don't want to see a Ricky Fowler kind of deal. So, not that it was the marriage; it could have been, but it also could be a whole bunch of other things. All right, so Patrick Cantlay and Scotty Scheffler moved down to Group 2. So while I do that, Jared now has the first pick. So Jared, you could take advantage maybe of the fact that Scotty Scheffler is still on the board. But I don't know. Maybe you'll go a different way. So Group 2, Matt Fitzpatrick, Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and now we've added Patrick Cantlay and Scotty Scheffler. Jared?
Yeah, there is a guy in Group 2 I'm tempted to nab, but I don't think I can pass up Scotty Scheffler here with my second pick. I think especially for majors, I think he just has the game that wins at these tougher golf courses. I think there's a good chance he gets another major this season. So I'll take Scotty Scheffler here.
Was that guy going to be Schauffele?
No.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say his name. I'm hoping I can get him with my third pick.
You're right. All right, so I'm up. I'm going to take a guy who I told you that I took for the century. I'm going to take Colin Morikawa.
That's who I wanted.
Yeah, I just think after what happened last year, you could tell that everything that happened from like mid-year to the end of the year was all about getting his game going again, and he was making the necessary changes to be even a better player. And so far, so good of what we've seen after yesterday. So I'll take Morikawa as my first pick in Group 2. So Jan, now that leaves you Cantlay, Fitzpatrick, Hovland, and Schauffele.
I got to go with Cantlay.
Ooh, okay, Patrick Cantlay.
I just feel like, again, his game's pretty steady. He got married earlier in the year, last year, so he's ready to. He works pretty hard. I mean, he has his coach with him all the time, and he's kind of one of those quiet people that he goes about his business. He messed up and missed a couple of tournaments early on when he got under pressure. That's the part that only concerns me about him, is when he gets under pressure, he doesn't come through as well as he should. But he's got a really good golf game. I like his golf swing too.
Okay, so
Greg, what happens if one of these guys bolts for live mid-season? Cantlay's been a guy that's been rumored to be at least thinking about it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. See, good question. All right, so what we'll do then is if a player moves to live, then you get the opportunity to take to replace one of your live players.
That's a good idea.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, and then you've got the alternates, so that's what that's for, basically, too. All right, so Group 3 now. I start. So Group 3. And we've moved Fitzpatrick, Hovland, and Schauffele to Group 3 with Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Cameron Young, and Will Zalatoris. Cameron Young and Will Zalatoris. Those names sound familiar. So let's see. Group 3, what am I going to do here? Boy, this is awfully tempting. But I'll use my head instead of my heart here for a pick. And go with, I guess I'll go with Schauffele, Xander Schauffele. I think that's the smart way to go. And we'll see if he can have a strong year this year after the way his year really kind of took place. When did he take off last year? That was like end of the summer, midsummer?
Yeah, it wasn't till August.
Yeah. So, All right. Xander Schauffele is my top pick. Jan, you are next.
Ooh, I don't know whether I'm going between Matt Fitzpatrick or Victor Hovland. I'm really stuck here. Victor, they always, once you break through and win, it can be open the floodgates. And Fitzpatrick never really did much after he won the Open.
No.
I'm going to go with Hovland.
Okay, Victor Hovland it is. Jared, Burns, Finau, Fitzpatrick, Young, or your boy, Will Zalatoris.
Yes. Yeah, I missed out on Morikawa. I can't also miss out on Zalatoris. I'm going to take him here. He had the back issue. Is back at the Century this week and looked fine to me. He looked a little rusty, I thought, in round 1, but didn't seem like the back was an issue. So if Zalatoris is healthy, I think he's going to win a few times this year, and I still think he has a really good chance to win a major this year.
Oh, I don't know. I disagree with you. I'm glad you took it, because I know that he had to have his, a bulging disc is a pretty big deal when you're a golfer and you travel. And, we've already know that his short putts are always, that's really hard to win. I mean, he did make some great putts when he did win in the playoff, but his putting didn't look any better to me yesterday. And And I thought he looked very tentative with his back. But of course, when you have at his age, I don't think he's going to have the power that he had before. Wow. So whether his short game is going to be able to step up is still a question.
So what you're saying is that does that mean that you need to see him get back to being more like the player he was about to be, or you just think this is going to be a recurring issue for him over his career?
Well, no, now that they fused it, I don't know that he's going to go at it as hard. I think he's kind of like with Tiger when he had to change his swing. I don't know how that's going to affect his golf swing.
All right. Well, we will see. We definitely, as fans, hope that it does not. Maybe age has got to be an added plus. He's
very young. Yeah, but that's also scary that you're 23 and you're having back problems.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. All right, Group 4. Now we start all over again. Jan, we have Daniel Berger, Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tom Kim, Hideki Matsuyama, Jordan Spieth, and Cameron Young.
Oh, there's so many good ones now. Now it's getting hard. I mean, I do feel like Fitzpatrick is good, but then now I've got some of my favorites. I've got 3 favorites: Sam Burns, Tony Finau, and Tom Kim, all in that group. So now it's really scary. That's a toughie.
Oh, and by the way, I should note, since this is a fantasy league, I mean, we'll have to come up with like a deadline. I don't know when. Maybe we can come up with a mutual deadline, but we can make trades, just so you know.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So we'll be able to make trades.
Fun.
The only thing that when we make a trade, the person that's not involved in the trade has to basically like agree that it's an okay trade. Like there can't be any, which I'm sure we're all going to be, we're not going to screw anybody. So, but anyway, yeah, that's it. We'll have trades during the season. So that'd be fun if we need to.
You want to take Zalatoris off my hands, Greg?
Oh, really? He's already changed his mind.
Okay, I'm going to go with Tony Finau.
Okay, Tony Finau. Pick number 4 for Jan. That leaves Berger, Burns, Fitzpatrick, Kim, Matsuyama, Spieth, and Young for Jared. Berger's also coming off an injury. He's coming off the back injury too. So
yeah, we haven't seen him play in a while.
No.
Yeah, he's got a horrible golf swing.
I can tell it's funky. I'm no expert.
Technically, it's not sound, so it's not. Yeah. Trouble is when they're not sound like that, they're hard to be a consistent pick. They have great tournaments, but they're not there every week like a Cantlay.
Okay, I'm gonna leave Greg's guy to Greg, and I'm gonna take Sam Burns. Sam
Burns.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites as well. I've hit him as a winner a few times. He's a guy who. When he's in the hunt on Sunday, I trust his ability to win golf tournaments. So I will take Sam Burns.
I totally agree.
All right.
He's one of those players. When he's in contention, you better watch out.
Yep.
I appreciate that. I mean, and by the way, it was very close. It wasn't really this obvious that I would take Cameron Young, because with Matt Fitzpatrick still on the board, I was thinking about that, but yeah, sure. I'm definitely hoping that Cam Young is ready to have a big breakthrough kind of year himself, since he hasn't even won yet. So I will go ahead and take my boy, just like you have yours, and I'll take Cameron Young with my 4th choice. That means we move to Group 5, and Jared, you have the first pick in this one. And let's see, I've got to move Berger down. He is going to join Fleetwood, Hatton, Homa, and Lowry. And Fitzpatrick is still on the board as well. So I got to move him down. Who else am I? Oh, I'm moving Kim down. So he's even available down here, as is Matsuyama and Spieth.
No one in Group 4 has been taken.
Who's that?
No one in Group 4 has been taken. Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, yep. That could happen. Yeah. So good point.
Well, I'm gonna take Fitzpatrick here. I just think he's fallen probably too far in this draft. He was 3rd on the PGA Tour in strokes gained total last season, which I think is the best measure of who the best player is. So I think he's a good value here.
All right, so now
I agree.
So now I can go with Berger, Fleetwood, Hatton, Homa, Kim, Lowry, Matsuyama, Spieth. I'm going to go with a player that that has frustrated me for the past few years, but I'm hoping that this is the year for Tommy Fleetwood. So I'm taking Tommy Fleetwood with my 5th pick. And so, Jan, that leaves Berger, Hatton, Homa, Kim, Lowry, Matsuyama, and Jordan Spieth.
I got to go with my boy, Tommy Kim.
Okay. Tom Kim it is.
You know, he grew up in Australia after, well, he was born in Korea, but he went to he went to school in Australia, so he's got an Australian accent. So I'm definitely going with him.
By the way, what's going on? He's making some changes, correct?
Yeah, he's gone to Jordan's. He moved to Dallas, and he's got Jordan Spieth's coach, who's an Aussie. And I just hope he doesn't change his golf swing, because I know that he was talking about the fact that he wasn't a very long hitter and he wanted to get some power. But
we've heard that before.
I hope he doesn't change that. Yeah. You know, Jordan tried it for a while and it didn't work. So you got to be careful, because I just think Tom Kim has such a good, solid game that I don't want him doing this new stuff and getting away from his golf swing. But he's got a great short game and a great attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want it to be like sort of, I think, the way Fitzpatrick's done it, where it's like a little bit every year. Like, don't go too hard, too fast.
Right.
And
yeah, that's true, because if Fitzpatrick did do that, he did get some speed, but he worked on it. He didn't really change his golf swing. He just worked on speed. You know, in the gym and he was in England, so with the simulator, and it worked really well. You're right. Changing your golf swing can be hard, and sometimes it might take a couple of years.
Okay, Group 6. This is my pick, and we have more leftovers like Berger, Homa, Lowry, Matsuyama, and Spieth to join Russell Henley, Kevin Kisner, and Shane Lowry. Oh, and Sung Jae Im. And Billy Horschel. I don't know. I'm getting so confused now. I got all these names in here. So these are all the names. There's a lot of them. I think there's like 10 in this group. So who do I go with here? I know Im is getting better. I know Jared is a Homa dude. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take Jordan Spieth. I think Jordan, sort of like Thomas, but in the last few years kind of deal. I think Jordan, he's just too young. I mean, he's got to start moving back up again. What do you think is up with Jordan Spieth? Why do you think, Jan, that Jordan has kind of leveled off a little bit the last few years?
Well, the trouble with Jordan is that he hits some shots it reminds me of Phil Mickelson a little bit. He just hits them straight sideways for no reason. His short game is still so brilliant, though. I mean, he's the best short game pitcher and bunker player, and you know, Justin. I mean, Justin. People don't realize how good their short games are. If Jordan keeps going with his golf swing, I mean, he's got a kid. He's settled down. He's got Cameron McCormick, their coach, moves to Dallas, so they're right there. So they might play a lot of golf together, because I know they've already started. Tom Kim and him have started playing a lot of golf together. So that might actually help him to practice more. I think he's going to come back this year. He's going to be pretty consistent, except whenever he hits those sideways shots coming down the stretch in a major, that's a bit concerning.
All right. So what do we now have? Let's see. We're now into Group 7. Is that what we're doing here? Or no?
I don't know.
I started. Working. Okay. So that means, Jan, you're next.
Okay, I'm going with Hideki-san, Matsuyama.
Okay,
nice.
Matsuyama. Yeah, what about Matsuyama? Do you think Matsuyama? It's another player, Jan. I mean, what do you think? Is it time to see Matsuyama up his game to being a top 10 player?
Yeah, he's always had a struggle. He's always struggled with about the 10-foot putts. In people and I've seen him over the tournaments over the years, and he'll stand there on the green with that. He's got that new with the mirrors where you can see where you're lined up and where your head is and all of that. And I think that's actually starting to help him, because when I watched him at the Masters before he won it, at least he was recognizing his weakness. His short game, he used to really not be that good a chipper because, growing up in Japan, the grass is so different over there to chip on. It's called kaikuri, and it's a kind of a funny grass. The ball sits up. So as soon as you get on Bermuda and the ball sits down, he was always struggling with his chipping. But this year, I thought he really improved it. I mean, to see it get that much better, I think he's going to have a good year. I mean, he has so much pressure on him. If you've ever been to a tournament and he's got probably 14 photographers and about 20 people that run after him all the time. And so he's such a big superstar that there's so much pressure for him to do well. I mean, if he ever won a US Open, I don't know what they would do in Japan.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's got that pressure, and he did take some time off. So, but then look what happened last year. He did really well in the first two events. So you can't count him out, but I think this year he's still gonna be a top 20 player.
Jared, what is the highest year-end ranking that Hideki Matsuyama has achieved? Trivia.
He had to be top 10 when he won the Masters, right? I'll say
eight. I would say he's got to be in the top 5.
8th.
It was 10, right on the number. He barely made the top 10. He was 10th in 2019. He did not miss a cut that year, but he did get the 10th ranking. So, this is a guy that you would just believe. It's like, wait a second, he's only been in the top 10 and barely made the top 10 once in his career. It's hard to believe his talent.
He doesn't play that much, though. I mean, you think about it. When he plays, he goes home. He doesn't even have a base here in America. He goes all the way back to Japan.
Okay. You're next, Jared. So
is it me? Okay.
You've got Berger, Hatton, Henley, Homa, Horschel, Im, Kisner, Lowry.
Yeah, I'm taking Max Homa. He's another guy in the Burns mold where when he gets in the mix, I like his chances to win. Homa, too, by the way, just looking this up, surprised to see he was 9th on the PGA Tour in strokes gained total last year. So I just think he's an underrated player.
Who is?
Homa.
Oh, yeah, he's a good player. He's got a good swing, and he works on his game. Okay.
So Group 7, leftovers, Berger, Hatton, Henley, Horschel, Im, Kisner, Lowry. And then the new players in Group 7, Mito Pereira, Seamus Power, Sahith Theegala, Aaron Wise. So who do you want in Group 7, Jan?
Did Jared take Max Homa?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So all the leftovers and then
Shane Lowry I think is going to make a big pick. Sanjay Im is really improved. Love Seamus Power right now.
Yeah, what about Seamus Power's overall game? Are you surprised that he's playing this well?
No, he's got a really solid game, and remember he played a lot before in Europe, so. Okay. It's not a surprise. And Russell Henley he doesn't hit it quite long enough. Sung Jae Im is just one of those guys that's there all the time.
Yes, very consistent.
And he plays so much. He's the opposite. I bet he played the most. How many he played? 26. Yep, he played the most.
Billy Horschel had a big year last year. Top 20.
Yeah. But then he played horrible in the President's Cup.
Yeah, he's had a hard time in big events lately.
I'm going to go Sung Jae Im.
Sung Jae Im is in for Jan. Group 7.
I was surprised to see Sung Jae way down in Group 6. I think he should have been a few groups higher. I think it's a great pick.
Yeah, and he lasted until Group 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jared. So you're up.
Me.
Yeah, you're after Jan.
I'll take Shane Lowry. I still can't believe he didn't win.
Yeah,
last
I know,
year. He
right?
was so close multiple times, especially I think through the Florida swing.
He's such a good driver of the ball. I mean, he got really screwed at the Honda.
Yeah. Shane Lowry for me.
All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and take Seamus. So I'll take Seamus Power as my my 7th choice. So we all have 7 picks. We're now into Group 8. and that is Jared. You pick, so I got to start moving all these players down again. Let's see. And as I do that, let's see. What do you think about Tyrrell Hatton and his career, Jan? Because when he won the Bay Hill event, it looked like he was ready to like turn a corner. Like that was the big, the PGA event. He hadn't won before. It was a big one, but it hasn't really. He's kind of just leveled off since then.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the. I mean, he seems a very nice guy, but he doesn't have that ambition. He's making millions more than he ever dreamed. It's some people that they want to win and they just want to, be at the goal of being a top 10. I think he's just happy to play as well as he does. And I heard he was maybe going to live, but he's a very steady player. But I don't want to kind of jinx him, but under pressure, he messes up under pressure coming down the stretch. And so that part of it is like what Jared was saying about Sam Burns. When Sam's in the hunt, you don't expect him to make stupid mistakes. You see Tyrrell make silly mistakes coming down the stretch, but that's only because of nerves.
He never looks like he's having fun out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that he's so happy to be making millions playing golf. I mean, he's living the dream, so he doesn't seem to want to get to the next level.
All right, and make sure I don't make mistakes because we're getting to a lot of players here. All right, so Group 8, Jared's got the first pick, and we've got leftovers Berger, Hatton, Henley, Horschel, Kisner, Mito Pereira, Thigala, Wise. The new players are Corey Connors, Tom Hoge. Is it Tom Hoge? Tom Hoge?
Tom Hoge.
Tom Hoge. And Sepp Straka, who had a big year last year.
Yeah, he
for
did.
Sepp Straka. You talked about getting screwed at the Honda. Sepp Straka took advantage of Shane Lowry's bad luck. So Group 8, Jared.
I'm taking Aaron Wise. He's my breakout pick for this season. I think he's been a really strong ball striker for a few years now, and he evidently learned how to putt. Just looking through his numbers for the last 6 months, he's been an above average putter where he used to be horrible. So if he can keep that going, if he can be an above average putter with the ball striking, I think he could finish the year as a top 20 player.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take someone I guess also that shouldn't surprise you. I'll take Mito. So I'll take Mito Pereira and see.
It sounds like he's off to live though, doesn't it? From what I've read, it's not official, but he's very likely.
Yeah, he's good friends with the one that already went from their country.
Neiman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. So Jan.
Right. I'm going, and this is going against everything that I believe in because I go on technique and golfers, and I don't like his golf swing, but
Berger?
Sahith Theegala is definitely gonna. His golf swing. It's a wonder he doesn't have a bad neck because he drops down 1.5 feet at impact. But he's you look at his junior career and it's so impressive, and he's played against some pretty top players. And was really impressive when he was an amateur. So I think he's from California. He's got a great attitude. He's always smiling. I think he's gonna break through.
Yeah, he's definitely. When we have one of those questions about who's gonna break their maiden, I mean, come on, he's got to be at the top of the list pretty much for all of us. So, I mean, if he doesn't win this year, it'd be a shock.
He's very inconsistent, which probably speaks to Jan's point about his swing. But he has these spike weeks where you'll find him in the top 5, and I think he's going to turn one of those into a win this year.
Group 9, and we go back to this is who is this? Is this me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the leftovers: Berger, Connors, Harmon, Hatton, Henley, Hoge, Horschel, Kisner, Straka. The new players are Jason Day, Ricky Fowler, Justin Rose, and Adam Scott.
This is the old man group.
Yeah, put them all together.
Yeah, that's funny. That's true.
All right, so this is interesting. I am going to take. I'm gonna. It might be risky, but I'll based on talent, I'll take Berger.
Yeah, risky pick, but definitely could pay off big if he's healthy.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, and that leaves who's Jan's next?
Yep. Okay, I'm going with Adam Scott.
There's a surprise.
Well, I watched him at the Australian Open last month, and he blew it coming down the stretch. He was tied with a guy from Europe, and I watched him play all week. And then I sat with his caddy, with Stevie. You know, Stevie. He brought Stevie back, and
part-time
said
or full time.
Full time.
Full time. Okay.
And yep. And he said, and Steve said that he wants to commit one more year to see if he can win one more major. And so he's working really hard on his game. So I think he's again, I don't like it when they're not great putters, because you've got to have that. And he's a terrible 6 foot and under putter. And that's, when he has that tall putter, and when you have the broomstick, usually that means that you're really good from 10 feet and under. And he's not. And the funny thing is, he's great from 30 and 40 feet with it, but he's terrible inside those putts that you have to make. Wow. So I'm hoping that he can turn that around and work on it more.
All right. Jared.
I'm going to take Corey Connors. I don't know if I think he's going to win this year, because he's just such a bad putter.
Okay.
But he
enthusiastic
was
pick.
Well, we're into the 8th or 9th round or whatever. All these guys have warts. Corey Connors was 7th on the tour last year, tee to green. So the guy can do that. He just can't putt. I think he'll have a lot of top 10s this year, which at this point in the draft I'll take.
We are into Group 10 now, so we've got Bradley, Day, Fowler, Harmon, Hatton, Henley, Hoagie, Horschel, Kisner, Rose, Scott, Straka. Those are the carryovers, and the new players are Kuchar, Molinari, Simpson, Woodland, and Woods. Jen.
Okay. All right. I'm either going to go with Russell Henley, who hits the ball so straight, or Sepp Straka, who doesn't hit it straight but hits it long. Wow. So I'm stuck between a long hitter and a straight hitter. Let's see.
And that's an interesting couple of players with that group.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Sepp Straka.
Okay, Sepp Straka. I like it. Look at this. Corey Connors and Sepp Straka are the last two picks. I like it. Just shows you how the variety and the parity in the PGA Tour once you get down to this level.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're next, Jared. And by the way, remember, keep in mind, we are taking 3 players from this group. So we don't move on until we've taken 3 players each from this group.
Oh.
I will take Billy Horschel. I don't like the guy, but I think he makes. Well, he just seems like an asshole.
Oh,
doesn't he? I don't know the guy, but just from what from the few instances.
I like his golf swing. He's got a beautiful golf swing.
Yeah, he tends to do really well in the Florida swing. He's a Florida Gator, so if he can pick up a win at one of those events, I'll be happy.
Yeah, and he lives in Orlando.
So does that mean?
Hope he doesn't watch this.
Yeah. So does that mean that?
I doubt it.
Does that mean that you don't put a lot of money on Billy Horschel when he plays?
I don't think I've ever bet Billy
Wow.
Horschel.
People just rub off the wrong way to certain people.
Yep.
All right, Billy Horschel. And by the way, he's again top 20 player in the world. And Corey Connors and Straka
good value
ahead of him.
Yeah, he's got a really good golf game. I love his golf swing.
All right, I go next. And there's we have one of our questions, by the way, is comeback player. And there's a bunch of possible comeback player nominees in this list. I tell you what, I'll go with Tyrrell Hatton.
Well, he's a consistent player.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah, he's a top 30 guy you can count on every week, anytime he plays. So, but yeah, Jason Day, Justin Rose, those guys, and you've already got Scott Molinari. Those are interesting. Gary Woodland, Webb Simpson, Those are all interesting comeback potential choices, even maybe Matt Kuchar. Okay, next up, Jared, you again, we stay in this group.
I'll take Keegan Bradley to go with my Corey Connors, another
that's a good one.
golf striker who can't really putt too well, but I think Bradley's always good for a bunch of top tens at least, even if he doesn't win.
Well, and right now it could be comeback player of the year because he's in the top 3 in the FedEx points for this year.
Yeah, awesome. He had that was his first win in a long time, right?
Yeah, it's his first win in about 5 years.
Yeah. I didn't even know he won the Zozo. I wasn't paying attention in October, so
yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right. I'm next. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
I go right back, and I guess if I'm going to go right back, I will take the chance with Jason Day.
Wow.
All right, Jan.
Well, I'm stuck between Russell Henley and Brian Harman. Brian is a left-handed player. The trouble is, he reminds me a bit of Tyrrell Hatton. He's really consistent, really good ball striker, but I think he's happy to be making $2 or $3 million a year, which I don't blame him. I think Russell Henley has a chance to break out. I mean, he never misses a fairway. So I think he's one of those players that, I don't know. I go back and forth between those two.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with Russell Henley.
Yeah, Henley's another one that just won for the first time in a few years recently. So you do think Russell Henley, he might be a dark horse breakthrough player that might be able to slip into the top 15?
That's pushing it. I mean, he doesn't hit it long enough, but he's been when you figure he's got 6 tournaments where he's a big favorite because he hits it so straight, and may even be depending on how long they make the Open, because if they ever get long rough, he's a big favorite.
Well, he's 30.
I remember him being in the mix. He was in the mix at Torrey Pines when Rahm won. Right, and that's a long golf course.
It is, but it's also tight.
Right.
All right, and now the third and last of this group, and that's me. So I am actually going to take advantage of that and pick up Harman, of that choice of yours, Jan. Yeah, because actually Harman's on my final list of like 5 players of maybe winning a first major.
Wow.
Because he's had some chances in majors before. Again, he's in that list. He's not at the top, but he would be like a sleeper kind of major first-time winner for me.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Your pick, Jan.
Okay.
Don't take my guy.
Well, I'm not, because you would never think about it. I'm going with Molinari.
Okay.
I really like his golf swing.
Yeah, he's another comeback potential player. I mean, you got to think he's got more left. That's another guy that tried to get power in his game.
Yeah, but I also think that they have to commit to 20 events to be in that top to make it in. If you commit to the top 20, they give the last place is $500,000. The PGA give you $500,000. So everybody wants to be in that top 20, so he's going to commit and play a lot.
Okay.
Has he recovered from the Masters meltdown? I don't know. I know it was a while ago, but
that was a while ago. He's fine with it.
Yeah, he's just trying to get. He's been again another one of these players that he goes out, wins his first major, and then the very next year I need more power in my game, and he's disappeared since.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's because America gives too much emphasis on power.
Jared?
I'm taking Tom Hoagie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking about him.
I think he's one of the best wedge players on tour. So on these shorter courses, he won Pebble. I think those types of courses he can really compete.
I agree.
So you weren't going to take Molinari then, Jared?
No, Hoagie was my guy.
So it didn't matter anyway.
Didn't matter.
Okay, so now we go back to Jan, the alternates.
Who'd you pick, Greg?
I started it with Harman.
Oh,
I took your consolation prize.
Okay.
So now the alternates, and again, the alternates. That's it. You can pick anybody you like. Doesn't have to be from this group. Any player.
Okay, I'm going with Scott Stallings.
Oh. And why are you going with Scott Stallings?
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen his change in his body
Yes.
and what he did. And he was so committed to do that. I think he's going to be a comeback. Well, he already was this year a comeback player. He already was up there, wasn't he?
He was a lot more consistent than he had ever been, but he's still not he needs to prove he can be consistent for a longer period of time. But yeah, he was consistent. He was doing pretty good.
23.
What's that?
He played 31 events and he played every week. He's so fit.
Yep.
And he finished in the top 25.
The FedEx?
The prize money.
Oh, did he really? Wow. Well, like you said, he played a lot then. Good for him.
He made $3.9 million.
All right. Scott Stallings. He hasn't won in a while, though. When was the last time he won?
Yeah, I know. He hasn't won in a long time.
Well, he's close.
Oh, no, didn't he win one? Didn't he win? He won one last year, didn't he?
He was in the mix a few times.
Yeah, he was in the mix.
The other name out. His last win is 2014.
Oh,
he was in the mix quite a few times last year.
All right. Let me just see if I notice anybody. Who is our top ranked player still available? Let's see. That would be Ryan Fox. Oh, he's European Tour. That would be K.H. Lee at 38th. So he is the top ranked player from 2022 still left on the board. But again, we have anybody we want. Jared, who are you going to take?
I'm going to take a shot on this Taylor Montgomery kid.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, yeah. He's a good one.
I was going to take him at some point.
Yeah, he bombs the ball, but he's at least by the stats, he's a really good putter. So he kind of reminds me of like Bryson in that way. That's kind of how Bryson won, at least when he was at his peak, just killing everyone off the tee and then making putts. So hopefully Montgomery can reach Bryson levels.
He's on my rookie radar list.
Good,
yeah,
good
just taking a look at my board here, I probably would have taken him.
Wow.
Yeah, no, he's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So I'm next, and I think he's also gonna come back and play a little bit better this year. So I'm going to take Justin Rose.
Okay, that's probably not a bad one.
All right. Now comes Jared.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm not going to go through the list of players that are available.
That's fine.
I'd be here for about an hour. So
right. Hate to do this to Jan. I hope she wasn't planning on taking him, but I'm going to take Cameron Davis.
Oh, another player I was thinking about.
My favorite Aussie golfer, because I hit him when he won. What did he win? The 3M or the Rocket Mortgage? One of those. I hit him when he won that. I like his game.
Good one.
Yeah, no, and he's been playing a lot of good golf over in Australia. He won the tournament after Australian Open, so.
Very nice. That means I'm up next. Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was somebody I was also considering. Let's see.
Did we take who took Cam Young? Did somebody take Cam Young already?
Yeah, I took him pretty early. My fourth pick.
Okay.
All right, let's see. That was a good one. I was thinking about that. All right, you know what? I'm gonna, as crazy as it sounds, I'm Mr. Critical, but I'll take, at this point, why not? I'll take Ricky Fowler.
Okay.
He can't play any worse. So.
Well, he's playing better this year.
Yeah. So, I'll take Ricky. Jan?
I don't know. I'm running out of.
Lots
I don't
of
really know. I guess I may go with Webb Simpson, but I don't know. How old's Webb?
37.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have guessed older.
I know. I would have thought that too.
Yeah, comeback player of the year's candidates. He was one of them in my list, and I have Poulter and Woodland and Harris English as players we haven't taken.
I was going to ask about Woodland. What's up with him? I know he was hurt for a while.
Yeah, he just doesn't really. He makes a couple of mil and then he's like, okay, I'm done. I like Trey Mullinax.
Yes, good pick. Yeah, for me, it's going to come down to Hadwin, Bezuidenhout, Hughes, and maybe even Webb Simpson. Why not Webb Simpson?
I don't know. I think you got to go with Mackenzie Hughes.
Yeah, why do you say that?
I think he's going to have a really good season.
I agree. I'll take Mackenzie Hughes.
Because I've been looking at him thinking I want to go with them. I mean, he finished in the top 60 last year, and he's already gotten off to a good start at the end of the first couple of last year.
Jan, you're next.
Oh, I shouldn't have told you that because
you could trade for him.
I'm going breakout. My breakout player is going to be Mav McNeely.
Oh, wow. That's what I wanted.
I like that.
We talked about him a lot last year.
We did.
And wasn't he changing swings or changing coaches?
Well, he changed. He had a coach that got him on the tour and made him #1 player in amateur at Stanford. Then he left him, and because his girlfriend talked him into going, because he moved to Vegas, and his girlfriend talked him in because she works with Harmon, and he left his coach that had him on the right track, and the good thing is Alex was fine with it, Alex Murray, and then last year I think he started to realize that he wanted to go back with Alex, and about halfway through the year he went with him, and he already got off to a great start. So I love his golf swing, and I always felt like he needed to work more on his putting, but he's worked. He's got a good coach, and he lives in Vegas. I think, at first we didn't think he would do that well because his father's so rich that they was afraid he didn't have that, that desperate killer instinct to, tough, make you tough and want to go out there. But I think he's gotten where he loves the tour. So, and he gives every birdie he makes, he gives it to charities, money to charity. So I think he's going to come through.
All right.
A nice pick. That's what I was going to take. So now I'm scrambling.
Scramble away. Oh,
how many do we have anyway? Do we have enough?
This is the last player.
Yeah. I'll take KH Lee. He's just the best player. A few of my favorites still on the board, but I'll go ahead and make the smart pick.
Now, let's go right to the Live Tour players. So we have 5 to choose from here, or 4?
5
in Live. Okay, so 2 in the last group. Okay, all right. We'll start with the first group. Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Joaquin Niemann, and Cam Smith. Jan starts. No, wait.
Dustin Johnson.
Jared starts.
I start?
Yeah, Jared starts because Jan started with the PGA Tour.
Jan, you weren't going to take Cam Smith?
Nope.
All right, I'll let you can have DJ. I want Cam Smith.
I guess it didn't matter anyway. You went with DJ, Jan?
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess
I know, and I always go with the Aussies, but I don't know. Cam Smith, when I watched him play in the Australian Open, he plays so badly. It's probably not good to be thinking about that. But but Justin Johnson's just so powerful out there.
And I'll go ahead with Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, good choice.
Okay, so we will move down Bryson DeChambeau to Group 2. And I'll also move down Joaquin Niemann. And they are going to be joined in Group 2 by Paul Casey, Taylor Gooch, and Patrick Reed. First up is Jan.
I think Louis Oosthuizen's in that group too.
Yeah,
also, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, correct. Louis Oosthuizen.
I'm either between Joaquin and Bryson. You know how I love Bryson's swing, but his swing has changed for the worse. I'm very upset with him for changing his golf swing. He was so wrapped up in getting into number one on the long drive contest that he's ruined his golf swing, and he's so shot at the top, and he has no idea where it's going.
That's Gooch?
But no, this is Bryson.
Oh, Bryson. Oh, yeah, Bryson. Jesus, what is world?
So I'm so upset because, I even showed him when I went out to watch him play. I showed him that a picture of my fridge with his 2 pictures of his technique in these positions. And I wanted to kind of clue him in that he's not in those positions anymore, but I didn't really say that because I didn't really want to hurt his feelings, but it's like he's ruined his golf swing.
But really, if you think about it, is it a surprise that someone that is as meticulous as DeChambeau is, that, and we've talked how many times, even just on this show, about players that change this and change that because they're just thinking too much. And here's the ultimate thinker that he's always going to get it. He's going to step over himself. It's just impossible to think that he wouldn't have done this to himself.
Well, I know. And the thing is that, has a coach and he just wanted to be in this long drive thing so badly. But he keeps saying, I've got 2 golf swings, but it didn't work. It's gone into his regular swing.
Well, we'll see if he gets it back at some point. That means you're not taking him?
No, I'm going to take him.
You are? Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to take him.
All right. Slams him and takes him. DeChambeau with the first pick of Group 2. So I will now pick. I pick now? Yes. And I pick. Who do I pick? I will pick. Boy, Casey. What happened to him? He probably just got distracted from.
He got hurt.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He's back okay now, though.
I'll take Neiman.
Yeah, I would do that.
Me too.
Jared?
I'll take Patrick Reed.
Oh, no, don't take Patrick Reed.
What?
I worry about some of the guys' motivation on the LIV Tour after they just got the bags of money. But I think Reed's someone where when he tees it up, he definitely wants to win.
Yeah, you're right. It is a good point. And he wants to win. He's got that killer instinct.
Yep.
Okay, so moving down, Casey, Gooch, Oosthuizen, joining Sergio, Brendan Grace, Phil Mickelson, and Bubba Watson. And I have the first pick. So what to do? I will take. By the way, what was up with Oosthuizen? Nothing. He's just the same old guy, huh? How old is he? Is he getting old?
Yeah, he's in his 40s.
40s.
Yes. Okay. I'll go ahead and take Gooch.
Good pick.
Next up is Jared.
Yeah, Gooch and Neiman were the 2 I was disappointed in going to LIV because I thought.
Yeah, that would have been nice to follow. Yeah.
Up and comers, guys who have Neiman especially. I thought, and maybe he still can win a major. I'm not sure exactly. I know they're all eligible for the Masters, right? I don't know, but are these guys going to be able to play at the other majors?
The only one they can't is the PGA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good at least. I'll take Louis.
Okay. Next up is Jan.
I'm taking Bubba.
You think there's another era in Bubba, another year left that Bubba can do something?
I do. I think he because he likes to freewheel it and have fun anyway. He's like a young Phil Mickelson. I think now that he's got all that money, he can really do it. And then when he does that, he plays better.
Okay, that sounds good.
And he has a new attitude. He said he loves golf again. So.
Oh, so.
Sure, having 40 million in the bank doesn't hurt, but.
Yeah, right. Did that statement come after he received the check?
No, actually, it didn't. He said he was changing his attitude.
Oh, okay. All right, and that means Moving down is Casey, Garcia, Grace, and Mickelson. And they are going to join. It's the only time I'll mention the rest of this list. Abraham Answer, Martin Keimer, Jason Kokrak, Mark Leishman, Kevin Na. We all know who likes Kevin Na. Ian Poulter, Charles Schwartzel, Henrik Stenson, Cameron Tringali, Harold Varner III, Lee Westwood, Bernd Wiesberger, and Matthew Wolff. So we have 2 more to go from this group. And we start with Jared.
I pick. I will take Abraham Answer. I like his game a lot.
Okay. Abraham Answer, first one off the board, group 4. Next, Jan.
I'm going to pick.
Kevin.
I'm going to pick him eventually. I think I'm going to go with Paul Casey. Going to go with the English guy. I'm going to go with the Pommy.
Yeah, you got to believe that he's. Do you think Paul Casey will win a major?
No.
Wow.
I would bet against it at this point.
Poor Paul Casey.
He's in his 40s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'll go ahead and take Sergio.
Already a pretty good bet.
And that leaves our
Sergio wants to win bad.
Yeah. And he seems to be happier, that's for sure. He doesn't have all those rules to deal with. All right, last one. Jan goes first.
Jared, who did you pick? I didn't put that? Oh, that's right answer.
Yep.
Okay, I'm stuck between 2 players. How many do I have left?
1. Last pick of the draft.
Oh, I'm stuck
Don't
between
forget, you
Kevin.
could always same thing.
I'm gonna go with. I better go with my boy Kevin.
Yeah, you better. Kevin Na it is. Jared? Oh, is it me?
No. I don't know.
Yeah, it's you.
tell me.
No, it's Jared.
Is it?
It's Jared.
Jared?
I will take Jason Kokrak.
Oh, that's actually not a bad one.
Jason Kokrak. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and take one of my old-time favorites. And I bet you have no idea who that is.
Let's see.
Lee Westwood.
Nope.
Schwartzel.
Nope.
Poulter?
Stenson?
Nope. I told you you wouldn't guess this. Nope.
Grace.
Nope.
Keimer.
Yes.
Keimer.
Really?
Yep. Big Martin Keimer fan. Especially after he won those majors and I was picking him. You know how it is, Jared. I was making a lot of money off of Martin Keimer. I made a lot of money off of him at the Players. Oh, those were the days. So I still think he's got another little. I think he just has to settle in, and I think when he does, I still think he has something left in the tank. So
we've got some big names. Schwartzel's still out there. Varner, those 2 are going to win.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, we'll do the same. We'll do this.
That was between Kokrak and Varner for my last pick. There.
Oh, Varner was your last choice. Who was your last choice, Jan?
Kevin.
I mean, if you had to take another player, who was it? It was
Varner. Charles Schwartzel and Varner.
Schwartzel, okay. Oh, and Varner too. Okay. So yeah, we'll do the same thing with Live Tour. We'll come up with a strategy as far as what we could pick up players.
All right.
I'll just have to come up with what that is. And again,
it's a good format. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we promised, and we're not going to have to elaborate, but Jan, who do you think is going to end up as Player of the Year?
Oh, that's a hard one. I think John Rahm's going to do it again.
I like that pick. Well, actually, he's never been Player of the Year.
He wasn't?
No, for the PGA Tour of America, I think he was, but not for the PGA Tour. I forget what that term is. It's there's 2 of them. One's the PGA Tour, the other is, I think it's PGA Tour of America.
Player of the Year is a vote. The players vote on that one.
Yeah, but the PGA Tour of the Year, John Rahm has never won.
Oh, I thought he was #1 money winner.
Might have been, but that's not Player of the Year.
Now, Player of the Year is voted, and money winners.
Yeah.
Money.
PGA of America Player of the Year, Jon Rahm in 2021, but he's never won PGA Tour Player of the Year. So anyway, Rahm is your pick?
Yep.
Jared?
Yeah, Rahm was my pick too. Although if I was going to give you a runner-up. Yeah, okay. If I was going to give you a runner-up, though, it'd be Morikawa.
And that was my pick. So I'm taking Morikawa. Breakthrough Player of the Year. You've already said it, right, Jared?
Aaron Wise.
What do you think about that pick, Jan?
I think it's a very good one. I think it's close. I think there's going to be a couple of rookies that break through.
All right. Well, who's your?
There's 2 from Europe and 2 from Asia that are good, and then there's a couple Americans that Austin Eckroat. He's good. I like him. There's some young players that are going to surprise some people.
All right. Well,
and I'll get to see him at Valspar because it'll be a weak field.
Austin Eckroat. Go ahead. Give me those names. Give me a few of those Rookie of the Year candidate names.
Okay, Thomas Detry.
Oh,
he's another one.
Oh, he's now on the PGA Tour for the first time, full time.
Yeah, he's only like 22, and they're all good college kids. And then we got that Harry Hall from England, and that Matt Schmidt from Germany.
Okay,
they looked really good when I saw them. They got a couple of invites, and I got to see them at a weaker fields.
Okay.
And they looked really good. There's some good ones. Okay. And I think we already said that Taylor Montgomery is going to be good.
Yes. But, so he he wasn't able to qualify last year?
He didn't play enough events, so he's a rookie this year, I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't. I know they said something. I heard something about his rookie something, but let me see. PGA Tour Rookie of the Year, see what it comes up with. And while I do that,
go ahead. The other name I had down as a possibility here, I'd love Jan's take on his game, is Taylor Pendrith.
Yes.
Yeah, Taylor's got a good game. I mean, there's so many that just need one good event, one good breakthrough, and then they're off and running.
By the way, this should have been obvious, but PGA Tour Rookie of the Year last year was Cameron Young.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Yeah, I think Taylor had one. I think he only played like 2 events when he got invites.
Yeah, Taylor Montgomery's a great choice.
They all qualified on the Corn Ferry Tour, most of them. But they did get some invites, and a couple of them played well enough in some of the weaker fields towards the end of the year that they, or I guess it's the beginning of the 2023 season, they got invites and they played well.
Okay, so Jared for breakthrough player is Aaron Wise. So who's your breakthrough player, Jan?
Matt McNeely.
Maverick McNeely. Okay. So how high do you think he could go?
I think he's going to be top 20.
I like that. And Jared, where do you think Aaron Wise is going to go?
Top 15.
Okay. And
I'm hoping.
My breakthrough is going to be. See, I had actually Montgomery as a candidate, but I'll go ahead and take. You know what? I picked them, so I'm going to take Seamus Power.
Oh well, Seamus has already broken through.
No, but I think top 15. He's not.
He's already in the top 10 now.
No, he's not. Top 10
he is.
In the world.
But this year.
No, well, this year in the FedEx Cup.
Yeah. He is in the OWGR. He's currently 29th.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like Aaron Wise. Where's Wise right now?
Wise is 33rd.
Okay, so they're about the same. Where's McNeely?
Around 50th, probably.
Is 61st.
Wow. There you go. So Jan's got the real cojones taking McNeely at 61st right now. Comeback player of the year. I already went through a bunch of them. Molinari, Day, Simpson, Rose, Woodland, Fowler, English, Scott. You can even put Spieth if you think he's going to be, top 5 player. But any of those names entice you, or?
Well, I wouldn't say they're going to be a top 5. I think I agree with you that maybe Ricky's going to come back and be a top 50, but whether he's going to be a top 5, no.
How about you, Jared, a comeback player?
I'll go with Webb Simpson.
That's a good one.
I think on the shorter courses, he still has the game where he can compete.
Oh, his short game's brilliant. Brilliant short.
I'll say Jason Day. Just got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And Jan, who would be your official comeback player of the year? Molinari would fit that. You have him on your team.
Yeah. Let's do Molinari.
Okay. Only a couple more left, and that is maiden PGA Tour win. And again, it has to be somebody outside the top 25.
That's got to be mad.
So that doesn't
that's
include
Cam Young. Oh, no, it's going to be Thigala.
Oh, good one.
I think Thigala's the...
You picked him too,
Thigala,
Jared?
who's I'd go. Yeah, I'll go.
Him and Cameron Young are the two obvious ones.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I made it sure it was top 25. I'll say, since you guys put Thigala, I'll you know what? I'll say Montgomery.
That's a good one. And then the other one, I mean, you also got to maybe look at Mito Pereira.
Yes, that was on my list. Yes. And last question.
That's if he doesn't go to the Live Tour.
Yes, that's true. And the last question, who's going to win their first major of their careers? Who's the top list, your top pick, if you had to make money off of it? Who would you put money on?
I'm sticking with my guy, Will Zalatoris, even though Jan's got me worried. If I was gonna make a second pick, I think Sung J M has a game to win a major.
Zalatoris and him. Jan?
Tom Kim.
Wow.
What a big story that would be. I'll go ahead and I'll do the same thing. I'll stick with my man Young, and I'll include potentially Victor Hovland.
That's a good one.
And then last one is also first major, but they have to be ranked outside the top 20 of last year's ranking to make it a little bit tougher.
I'll go Joaquin Niemann.
He can't.
Yeah, he can.
Oh, that's right. He can play the majors.
Was he outside top 20? Yes, 22nd.
Yep.
They're not going to allow the rankings yet for the Live Tour?
No, this will be the only year that they'll get to play if they're going to go by world rankings, because until they approve it, 54 holes, they won't get any world rankings.
Okay. And who would you think, Jan, outside the top 20 rankings?
Boy, there's not going to be many that can win a major outside the top 20. That's a lot of pressure coming down the stretch.
How about Tommy Fleetwood?
No, I don't like. He goes from open to close too much. He can hit that big on hook.
Mito got a taste of it last year.
Yeah, he did.
He was there.
I don't know. I'm looking at that list.
Let's see. Any players?
Kind of like Seamus Power for a major. His game's looking pretty good.
Seamus Power?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with Fleetwood. All right. And there you go. We will talk again sometime, Jan. I don't know when, but we'll schedule you whenever we can. I know, of course, you got a busy schedule as always. What are you working on right now?
I'm just putting a new water system in my golf course, so I'm pretty busy on that.
Good luck with that. Thanks a lot for doing this, Jan. Appreciate it. We look forward to talk to you again sometime soon. And then Jared and I will be back next Tuesday to preview the Sony Open. Again, Jan will be with us for a lot of the big events, including the majors. So, Jan, appreciate it as always. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Jared, I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, I love the game. Good work on the game. It's fun.
Yep. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye, guys.